future, next week on the Computer Chronicles. This week on the Computer Chronicles, Showcase 99. We'll show you the future of digital television, a set-top box that records your favorite shows on a hard drive. This is enhanced TV, computer files fed to your PC through the television signal. And meet the new Internet, where you can access your applications from your ISP. Plus incredible new graphics software that lets you turn flat images into 3D. And a new kind of computer solitaire, the future of workplace training. A visit to Showcase 99, coming up next on the Computer Chronicles.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by PeopleSoft, a global supplier of enterprise application software for business, education, and government. PeopleSoft, we work in your world. Additional support by Cybersmith, wired for fun and learning, with locations in Cambridge, Massachusetts, Palo Alto, California, and White Plains, New York. By TechWeb for up-to-the-minute technology news. And by TVA, Television Associates, bridging the worlds of computers and video with DVD authoring and MPEG encoding services.
Hi, and welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee. Well, we've got a very special show for you this week, a visit to Showcase 99 in San Diego. A look at some of the newest computer and internet technology. Showcase is put on by Upside Magazine and industry analyst David Coursey. It's a gathering of the computer industry elite, CEOs, analysts, venture capitalists, all the folks who want to get the very first look at the most cutting-edge, innovative new technology. And in the next half hour, you'll get to join them. Perhaps the most striking news at Showcase 99 was the appearance of real convergence appliances, new hardware and software that really do erase the line between the television set and the computer. The most talked about new gadgets here at Showcase 99 were these new convergence appliances, the TIVO and the Replay TV. Both devices are essentially digital VCRs that use an embedded computer and a hard drive to record television programs.
TiVo is a personal television service and receiver that makes it really easy to record all your favorite shows so that you can watch them anytime. TiVo also lets you do things like pause live television so that you won't miss a minute of the action, rewind, fast forward, slow-mo, frame forward, frame back. It also lets you use thumbs up and thumbs down on the remote control to tell TiVo what you like. And based on your personal preferences, TiVo goes and finds other good things for you.
The other approach to a digital VCR is the Replay TV.
Replay TV is going to change the way you watch television by letting you create custom channels that match your interests that you can watch on demand. And it works with today's existing infrastructure. So for example, if you were a big ER fan, you could have an ER channel, and whenever ER was broadcast, it would capture that automatically and put that in your ER channel. Or if you liked Humphrey Bogart, you could have a Humphrey Bogart channel, and whenever a movie was on that starred Humphrey Bogart, even if you didn't know it was coming on, it would capture that automatically and put that in your Humphrey Bogart channel. And in addition to these sort of theme-based and show-based channels, it lets, when you're watching live television, it lets you pause or rewind or even fast forward live television just as if you were watching it taped.
The major advantage of these new devices is that they are non-linear. They use a computer-controlled hard drive rather than videotape to record and playback your programs.
The hard drive lets you do a lot of things that you can't do with tape. So for example, it can record and play at the same time. So let's say you're looking forward to ER. You know it comes on Thursday night at 10 o'clock. You want to get home and watch it, but you got to put the kids to bed, or you're running a little bit late. You can start watching it at 10:15, and even though it's still recording the end, you can watch it from the beginning. So that's what hard drive technology lets you do. It's also very fast. So like if you started watching ER at 10:15, and then a commercial comes on and you don't want to watch it, you can press the commercial skip button on our remote, and it instantly jumps 30 seconds over the commercial. So it's a lot faster than tape.
The Replay TV was clearly the favorite among the journalists and analysts here at Showcase.
Everyone who sees this device likes it, and in kind of a gadget nut group like we have, everybody wants to go buy one.
My only comment on the Replay is, when can I get one? The idea that I could get up to 20 gigabyte hard drive for my television set and record programming, it's one of those thoughts, just like when I first heard about the VCR, I immediately understood why I wanted one. It makes sense. You're traveling, You don't have time to put the tapes in. You can never find the tapes. Your VCR today is too hard to program. This is a device that people will want. The question is, can they make them cheap enough? And $699, which is their out-the-door price, is far too expensive. But on the other hand, some people paid $1,000 for VCRs. When these things get down to $199, I think the VCR is history.
Intel was here showing off their enhanced television products, which let you download computer files through the TV signal while you're watching a program. Intel is working with PBS to deliver new enhanced television programs, such as this documentary on Frank Lloyd Wright.
If you watch the Frank Lloyd Wright show, the television show, what you saw was the show was on Frank Lloyd Wright, the person. The interactive content was primarily based on Frank Lloyd Wright's buildings, so that the viewers on a high-performance Intel-based PC would interact with the content in a more personal way. They could explore the buildings, they could look at the ceiling, look at the floor, look at the paintings on the wall, get up close and personal in ways that was never possible before.
Another vertical application of the Intel technology is this demonstration of a new web service for advertising agencies. This is basically enhanced TV in reverse, or a television-enabled website. Ad executives can log on to a daily trade zine that lets them not only review data, but also view video, the latest television ads, and even the newest interactive web ads. Another hot convergence product here at Showcase was ShareWave, a new technology for turning any TV set into a terminal on a home computer network. ShareWave lets you play an online game on the TV set, while someone else is using the same PC to do more serious work. With many homes now having more than one computer, the topic of networking home PCs was a hot one here.
This may be the year of home networking. Compaq, who's not here, but recently at CS introduced networking over the telephone at home. We have companies here that are doing sharing a PC, two PCs at once, one internet connection, one in one room of the house, one in another room of the house. We're seeing a device I think Philippe is going to market that uses your TV as one display, perfect for games, and they should have been used for games while someone in another room of the house was working on spreadsheets. Sharing a PC, according to Compaq, and I believe them, is the killer application for home networking.
Another major theme at Showcase 99 was the new ways developers are finding for using the internet. No longer is the web just a place to surf and gather information. It's becoming the source of a variety of services, which in many cases are replacing desktop applications.
This is Jump. We're the web's first completely connected organizer.
This is Jump.com, an online service which takes the place of information management software on your hard drive. You can log on from any browser and check out your calendar, your contacts, or other activities. Jump.com integrates your personal and your business life by letting you do things like add appointments to watch your favorite TV shows, and it automatically sends you customized news headlines. It also lets you work with colleagues in a group, and you can synchronize Jump.com with your PC for those times when you can't access the web. Another approach to the virtual personal information manager is Supercalendar.com. This is geared more to the family, but it's a terrific group calendar service which lets members of a family or a work group keep a common calendar service in cyberspace. eRoom is a more business-like approach to creating virtual meeting places for members of a work group. With eRoom, team members can share information, manage projects, and pass along documents for group comment. It also supports live chat and bulletin boards for team activities. A similar approach was taken by ThoughtStar and their QuickTeam calendar service on the web. ThoughtStar even lets you conduct surveys on your website so that a manager can gather input from all team members. All these services are free and represent a major shift in the computer software model, from applications on your own hard drive to services on your ISP.
We're seeing a lot more web-based applications. Jump with their online calendar and personal information manager is a good example, but you're also seeing things like telepresence, perceptual robotics with cameras that you can run remotely. So in their example, they were showing the Detroit Auto Show. But it's a major trend. Applications sit out on the internet, typically available for use for free, that people then, if you're willing to watch the ads, they'll let you use the application.
This all sounds a lot like the old network computer, or NC concept, and it is, except that the low-cost thin client terminal is becoming your PDA.
It's clear that this thin client notion is right. And it's also clear that there will be a set of devices which we've always called PDAs, but it seemed to take forever, will now finally take off. Because we'll have the wireless networks and we'll have the ability to seamlessly connect in, get information and come out. They will take off when people see real end user capability. To do that, they need the connection, the device, and the content. Again, the web platform, the e-commerce platform, the directory and security platform are the key components to allow you to make that technology that can then get the content to the thin client. And I've always thought that the most popular thin client was going to be my digital cellular phone, which is just sitting there running its processor, doing nothing. It might as well be running TCP/IP.
The tremendous growth of internet connectivity is helping to drive the new Genie technology from Sun Microsystems. Genie, which was previewed here at Showcase 99, is the brainchild of Sun founder Bill Joy. With Genie, each computing appliance, a PC, a printer, a digital camera, even a coffee maker, has its own built-in intelligence that enables it to communicate and function with any other Genie appliance.
Genie is the software that allows appliances and services to find each other so that they can exchange their agents. So if I want to take a picture from a camera and then print it to a printer, what I need is the agent for the printer, which tells me what to do, and I can push on its print button. And I need the agent for the camera, which I can push on its take picture button. And my device might be a PDA, can, using Genie, find those two devices, the printer and the camera, and receive the agents for them. And then I can use those agents. I don't have to configure drivers. It's no different than what somebody does when they visit a web page. The web page may contain software. So before network services in Java, if you wanted to use Fidelity and use some complicated analysis program, you had to install a floppy disk of Fidelity software. Now you can visit their web page and the software can come down in the page. Same idea.
Genie will make it possible for a whole new range of services on networked computing devices like cell phones, PDAs, and even digital cameras.
It's really important for the future for people to start thinking about buying networked devices. If you're going to buy a nice digital camera, look for what's called an iLink port, a 1394 port, because that means the camera has a network. That means you can control it from a PC or from some other photographic appliance, and it can participate in a community of devices long into the future. So perhaps some new format will come out, some HD format, and you've got this older camera. As long as it's got a network, you can put it on the network and play those videos into your TV. So iLink and technologies, networking in all appliances is incredibly important.
Motorola is also developing new mobile devices which combine the functions of traditional PDAs with cellular communications tools. This is the newest gadget from the partnership between Motorola and Starfish. The Rex PDA attaches to a Motorola StarTAC phone so that your cell phone can communicate directly with your PDA. And through a partnership with Yahoo, you'll soon be able to communicate with your web-based personal information manager.
In many ways, we're trying to extend the reach of the web to small devices and getting your information all the time, small devices, in particular cell phones, and make it all work together. That's the problem we're trying to solve. Bring all the pieces together, the cellular phone, the personal organizer, and the web. So we got Yahoo, Motorola, and Starfish working together.
Philippe Kahn, founder of Starfish, says the Motorola approach makes more sense than what 3Com is doing with Qualcomm, embedding a Palm Pilot in a cell phone.
The problem you have with phones that have a complete integrated system is that when you're on the phone call and you want to start talking about a calendar item or a meeting or look at notes, well, we really can't do it because you got to take out your phone and say, okay, are you still on the line, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. In this case, the beauty of it is that you just clip it off and then you can start working with it.
Another new and innovative use of the internet is the ability to control physical appliances through the web. This is a product called NetConnect, which lets you do just that. In this demonstration, a scale is connected to a website so that you can read the scale's output from any remote location.
Typically, the way you interact with a scale is you might have one out in the field, and you would bring a laptop up to it, plug it into the serial port of the scale, and pull up a terminal program and just communicate back and forth, typing on the keyboard. Using our software, the scale can now be located maybe in Saskatchewan, and you from your local office can pull up the scale on the internet and be able to do the same diagnostics, yet you don't have to be there.
Well, you may not care about being able to read the output of a scale on the web. You may be interested in managing other home appliances on the internet.
Let's say you leave your house, you get to work, you realize you left all the lights on. Well, you can turn them off from work. Or let's say before you head home, you want to turn on your air conditioner. You could do that over the web.
Pinpoint is another innovative approach to bringing real-world physical information to any user in any location. Pinpoint is what's called an LPS, or local positioning system. With Pinpoint, you can track people or things within a building using a network of receivers and transmitters, all tied into a monitoring website. Early applications are for quickly locating medical personnel and equipment during emergencies in a hospital. Perceptual Robotics is providing yet another example of using the web to create virtual physical experiences. This is a live shot of the Australian Tennis Open. Or you can attend the Detroit Auto Show or a Harley-Davidson showroom in Illinois. It's all made possible by Perceptual Robotics software, which lets you operate a remote video camera at virtually any location in the world. Clone Server is another approach to using the web to replace physical experiences. This is Andret, a virtual customer service assistant who is an intelligent agent and can answer customer questions in real time with no human intervention. The idea of agents is still alive and well. Microsoft showed off yet another version of their Wizard agent, here shown helping you figure out how to fill out an expense account form in Office 2000.
If you have a good reason for why you incurred these expenses, type it in here. If you don't have a good reason, you'll need some really good magic from me to get this report approved.
The Microsoft agents take the form of wizards, genies, or even parrots. But there is still disagreement over the future of agents.
We saw two applications here that are reminiscent of Microsoft Bob. You know, when Bob was kind of withdrawn from the market, I told people, Bob isn't gone, it's just resting. And Microsoft is improving and improving. They deeply believe in the social interface. And you're going to see them, I think, eventually get it right, where your help will be presented increasingly by smart characters that appear on your screen.
I think there's two levels of agents. There's Microsoft's strategy, which is to take essentially existing technology and put a prettier face on it. And then there's other technology that actually have agents that work under the surface. And I think this is where the portals are going, for example. So you actually have something that really does track your news, your portfolio, things that are of interest to you. You know, I never know why it is, for example, that every time I go into one of the travel sites, it keeps asking me where I go. It should know now that I have a few cities that I go to really often, and it should choose those for me. So software and websites that are more intelligent, that really get to understand you as a user and present you with options you want. Those under-the-counter agents that don't necessarily have a pretty face and a cute voice, I think are the ones that are going to win over the Bobs and the funny, sweet, genies that pop up and interrupt your word session.
Finally, two other new web applications that were shown here at Showcase. This is GoTo.com, a new approach to a search engine. With GoTo, websites pay to be listed on GoTo.com in much the same way that businesses pay to be listed in the Yellow Pages. The gimmick in GoTo.com is that businesses not only pay to get listed on the site, but they also bid for high position in the search results. GoTo.com even shows you how much the business is paying for your click-through. Finally, even web design is moving from a PC application to a free web-based service. You can now just log on to netstudio.com and design your own website. In this evolving computer world where more and more applications are becoming web-based, there is an increasing need for security and the ability to identify users in the virtual world. That's one of the main projects at the company which in many ways pioneered networked computers, Novell. CEO Eric Schmidt says Novell's new internet-based directories will bring both security and convenience to your desktop.
Think of it as a different way of doing distributed computing. The whole notion of the thin client was putting the complexity on the server. This is a way to do that, but still preserving the PC investment. The original thin client vision was correct, but the products didn't make it because people's applications didn't run on those thin clients. but they run on PCs. But by putting the registry information, your hot lists, all the things that you care about somewhere which is managed by adults and secure and so forth, we can then have that available for every application that you use.
Novell is also working on other new ways to identify users without requiring passwords. Novell has two new approaches, one using actual photos, which enable the computer to do a pattern match with an intended user.
Just watch that camera right there.
Okay, so you want me to look
at this camera here.
Another approach is fingerprint identification as a way of gaining access to a network or an internet service. One of the surprising stories here at Showcase 99 was the growing interest in Linux, an alternative operating system to Windows.
Linux is almost a movement at this point. I mean, again, people are looking for a way to break the Microsoft monopoly, and if the DOJ can't do it, and we don't know yet whether they can, then we're going to do it through the marketplace, which is the way it should be done. And I don't know whether Linux is ever going to be a serious contender, but the fact of the matter is we do have choices. We have Macintosh, it's on a rebound. We have Linux, which is certainly in the server market is getting some attention. We now have application suites like Corel that actually make Linux usable to people. And I think it's an exciting phenomenon. No, they're not going to take over Microsoft's market, but if they could just garner 5–10%, that's going to give people a choice.
As you heard, Corel is moving to support Linux with new PC applications, such as this new version of WordPerfect for Linux.
It's definitely becoming a more and more popular operating system. We think that it's moving into the mainstream. Certainly, I mean, depending on what figures you want to use, conservative estimates range from 7 to 10 million users worldwide. And basically, the user base is doubling it's doubling every year. So I think over the last year, it was the fastest growing operating system. So obviously, it's an important market for us.
Corel also introduced a new small business web server called Netwinder, and it runs not on Unix, not on NT, but on Linux.
On the hardware side of things, the reason that we're using Linux on our Netwinder platform, again, it provides a stable, scalable architecture, a stable, scalable platform for our development. It really is ideal for the type of products that we're trying to deliver to our customer base. The other thing is we're able to turn around development on our products significantly quicker using Linux than if we use just about any other operating system.
Some analysts think Corel is taking a chance by bucking the big guys and depending on Linux, but Corel thinks their decision makes good business sense.
When we were first looking at operating systems and different platforms to tailor our thin client and thin server products to, we simply couldn't find anything that would deliver the performance, the stability, the scalability, and the ease of development that Linux provides us.
Another strong advocate for OS choice is Bill Joy of Sun, developer of Java. Bill Joy says people are fed up with computer complexity and want simple software solutions.
What people are screaming for essentially is things that are simpler to use. You know, probably half the PC users today buy it to go on the net. They don't need all that complexity. They don't understand it. My wife just uses Netscape Communicator and Mail and the web browser. And when anything else breaks, I have to fix it. And I get sick of that, you know. I could easily fix every other electrical appliance in the house with the same amount of energy it takes me to fix that thing. When something weird goes happen, I have to rebuild it from scratch on the hard disk. And the problem is complex things break. Someone once said the essential price of reliability is simplicity. Steve Jobs says when you're at simplicity, there ain't no complexity. So the only way to get the devices to be simple is to make them simple, and that's kind of, you know, Yogi Berra style, but that's where we're at. We've got to build simple appliances so they'll be reliable.
There's a strong direction in realizing that, you know, the Swiss Army knife is not the solution to everything. Microsoft obviously has been pushing for years and years the Windows machine that does virtually everything. Intel has been pushing that, and they're pushing it even harder here at the show. Yet much of the industry, I think partially in rebellion to the big companies, are saying, no, we don't need that. We need connected devices or interconnected devices that do one thing or two things very, very well.
The icon for software complexity these days is Windows NT 5.0. Bill Joy compares the new NT to the old Strategic Defense Initiative known as Star Wars.
Well, you know, that's about the same size as the Star Wars system we decided not to build because, you know, we decided we couldn't protect the country, and even with a military-style budget, we couldn't debug a software program that's that large. So now we're going to foist it on every consumer. The thought of a 30 or 40 million line C or C++ program written in I've written a million lines of C myself, but it's a low-level language, and it's been a long time. And it's just a terrifying thought to have to try to debug that. And I don't know if it can ever be debugged. I think it's beyond the scale which people, you can build things which are so complex you can't ever debug them. And it'll be interesting. I mean, they have very smart people at Microsoft. They're working incredibly hard, but there are limits to what, the complexity that people can tolerate.
That view was echoed by Mark Eppley, a computer industry pioneer who founded Traveling Software and then took 2 years off to think about what he had done. His conclusion? This computer stuff is still way too complicated.
Well, I learned that, we live in our own little world here in this computer industry. I was out there knocking trees down with a bulldozer, got the John Deere, hanging out with the guys, driving the pickup truck, drinking a beer, playing pool, a whole nother world. And, they don't live and breathe and stay up nights thinking about computers there. In fact, they're afraid to have their kids get on the internet for good reason. And there's a fear factor out there. But they read about it every day. But they say, well, they're unsure what to do as parents with their kids and everything else. And it's a whole nother world out there than what we have inside the computer business.
There were some other interesting new applications shown off here at Showcase 99.
Welcome to BizPhone. If you know your party's extension, please dial it now. For a list of employees, press 1.
This is a clever product called BizPhone, which lets you use your PC as a server to run a small business telephone switchboard, complete with automated voicemail, conference calling, etc. The BizPhone device can support up to 6 phone lines at a fraction of the cost of a commercial phone system. This is Go Back, a very clever new piece of software which lets you easily go back to the condition your hard drive was in before a crash. The software automatically remembers the status of your computer and makes it easy for you to go back and undo the damage of a Windows or applications disaster. This is a new product called Sensiva. The idea behind this software is that people intuitively communicate with symbols, so why force them to type commands or click on icons? With Sensiva, you can just use your mouse to draw graffiti-type symbols to execute a wide range of typical computer commands. This is some amazing new 3D software from a startup called Etalon. 3D Photo Clay lets you instantly turn 2D objects into 3D objects. Another new product from Etalon called 3D Photo Gallery lets you use a Doom-like 3D interface for showing information in a presentation or a virtual trade show. Finally, one clever company called Corporate Gameware has found a way to turn computer games into a learning experience. This is Windows Solitaire, only with a purpose. Each card has a message on it, and you can learn about sexual harassment law while playing. And this is a Doom-type game which teaches people how to use CAD software. In this game, your gun is broken, so you have to go to the CAD program to figure out how to fix the trigger. A very clever way to combine fun and training. That's our visit to Showcase 99 in San Diego, California. Lots of cool new stuff coming down the line. It's amazing that after 20 years of the personal computer, the pace of change, the creativity of innovation has not slowed down yet. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Computer Chronicles. We'll be back here again next week. More of the latest on hardware, software, and the internet. I hope we'll see you here next week.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by PeopleSoft, a global supplier of enterprise application software for business, education, and government. PeopleSoft. We work in your world. Additional support by Cybersmith, wired for fun and learning, with locations in Cambridge, Massachusetts, Palo Alto, California, and White Plains, New York. By TechWeb for up-to-the-minute technology news. And by TVA, Television Associates, bridging the worlds of computers and video with DVD authoring and MPEG encoding services.
To purchase a videotape copy of today's program, call toll-free 1-888-310-7850. Please specify the show number and the topic.
Next week on the Computer Chronicles, we go to Lisbon, Portugal for the European Technology Roundtable Exhibition and an exclusive interview with Microsoft's Bill Gates. That's next week on the Computer Chronicles.